Hi folks and welcome to DevTrends. Today we're gonna talk about results of 2017 in web development based on awesome survey called the State of JavaScript. The State of JavaScript is the most comprehensive annual survey of latest development trends run by Sasha Grief for 2 years from now. Sasha is a web developer which I've been following from the times of my Meteor development, and he has written a lot of great articles and a book about Meteor and reactive apps. And now he's working on Vulkan.js and again is creator of the State of JavaScript. This year's State of JavaScript has been running for a couple of months and the response was enormous. There were more than 23,000 developers who took part in the survey, and this is about 3 times more than there was in last year's survey. And let's take a brief sail through the results. First difference from yesteryear's survey is this cool connections diagram. It may seem overwhelming at first sight, but it's actually very easy to use. This diagram shows connections between different technologies used in various development processes. For example, let's add some JavaScript flavors to here, and let's add front-end frameworks as well, and check how they connected. So you can see that React is primarily used with ECMAScript 6, and ECMAScript 6 itself is tightly coupled with plain JavaScript and TypeScript. So that means developers writing modern code eager to use static typing but not mind to use old plain JavaScript. And let's move to flavors now. And here comes JavaScript flavors like TypeScript, Flow, Elm and others. So what's with colors? Let's move from bottom to top. And purple are developers using it and willing to stick with it for the future. Here's light purple. There are people using it but either moving from this flavor or not willing to use it again. And then goes yellow. Yellow are developers heard of it and wanting to learn this technology. And light yellow are developers that heard of this technology but not interested in it actually. And the last one, or the top one, comes gray. Gray are those never heard about this technology. So as you can see, the most adopted flavor is ECMAScript 6, but nowadays we can really skip these ECMAScript numbered versions and just call it JavaScript, since it's widely adopted by a whole range of browsers and server environments. And plain old JavaScript, called as 5, is slowly moving to its end, and TypeScript is a new trend here, which was a real game changer for many JavaScript projects in 2017. And we think will rise even high in 2018, as many believe. TypeScript accelerates writing clean and understandable code by utilizing types and is adopted by a large amount of developers, which create such world-known projects like Angular and Visual Studio Code. And here at Developers tab, you can check developers' salary ranges based on technologies they use, along with years of experience in average. And then goes Worldwide Usage tab, where you can see how this or that flavor is adopted in different countries around the globe. Let's then move to front-end section. And here we can see which frameworks are staying on top in 2017. First one is unsurprisingly React, with huge adoption and same amount of interest. This year was a bit unstable for React, as we all remember this patterns issue which is fortunately resolved well for both sides. And the second place is divided pretty similar with among two Angulars and a Vue. But Vue is more well received than the first two. Also worth noting that Vue is extremely popular in China, not only because Vue's creator, Evan You, is from China himself, but also because it's supported by such huge companies as Alibaba, which uses Vue.js in its projects. And most popular framework mentioned in other answers is Preact, of course. Preact is a fast and lightweight library for front-end development with React-like API. Preact is widely adopted and used as a tiny alternative to React to create performant progressive web apps. Jason Miller, creator of Preact and many other small and awesome libs, has also recently created state management tool for Preact called Unistore, which acts like Redux for React and improves your Preact experience even further. Let's move to the state management now. And this year's state management section combines two couplet portions of information: how state is managed and how data is flown. As for state management, there is the only winner. Here is it, Redux, which is not seem to go anywhere in the foreseeable future. As for client-server data management, there is our REST stronghold with Google Firebase as all-in-one solution for mobile platform. But then comes GraphQL, a new approach of sending and receiving data with which you write special queries and get only what you want and nothing else. And GraphQL could be a real game changer in 2018 as more and more companies and developers are relying on it. As an example, latest fourth version of GitHub API is written in GraphQL instead of REST. And in other answers, let's head to it. In other answers, here is Vuex, a state management tool for Vue, and surprisingly MongoDB for some reason. But this is database, not state management tool. So let's head to backend section and see the results. And here, all clear with backend section where Express is still the king, with Core being a viable alternative. Meteor has not been so interesting lately, and honestly speaking, its future seems obscure as Meteor team is now more focused on Apollo, their solution for GraphQL management, which is great, by the way. Let's head to testing. Here comes testing section in where there are no big changes from the last year, and majority of developers heard about all these tools but are totally okay with using none of them. It's the biggest person here. Let's head to CSS and see what's there. So in CSS there are two chunks of related stuff here as well. CSS preprocessors like Sass, Stylus, Less and others, and CSS frameworks like Bootstrap, Bulma, Semantic UI and others. Firstly, there's Sass, which keeps first place for years. It is followed by plain CSS, which is still prevalent way to write styles without frameworks in 2017. But we can also see that CSS and JS is growing in popularity and may seem as main competitor to Sass in React-based apps. Bootstrap is strong here as well, but it seems many developers are looking for alternatives. And they are in the form of, let's see, in the form of Bulma and Semantic UI. Let's head to build tools now. Well, here simple plain npm scripts are dominant, and here is our Rollup. Rollup is primarily used for libraries when, for example, Webpack is here for apps. And in other answers, there is major advantage of Yarn. Yarn is handy and fast wrapper around npm, which was born around a year ago, but is already a very popular alternative to npm. And this is our mobile section. And here people are more interested in React Native than in PhoneGap, Cordova, along with alternative for writing pure progressive web apps. It's like new trend of 2017. Progressive web apps is an evolution for mobile web application, so it's here to stay as well. And for desktop apps, Electron is the king here. And worth noting then in other answers, Wix is good alternative to build native apps for those working with Vue.js. Here in other tools we got Yarn, NPM and Bower. So there are no changes from the last year, and there are some major features that developers want to see in the apps, like server-side rendering and code splitting. This is two major features that are nice to have in the modern web applications. Let's head to opinions. It's overall opinions about how JavaScript has evolved and if it become more complex or not, and such thing. And it's quite interesting that this year acceptance of JavaScript and satisfaction of its ecosystem is much higher than it was in last year, which was the year of JavaScript fatigue. Libraries have grown strong and consistent, there is much less diversity in terms of tools, and we are much happier than we were a year before. So we can be sure that JavaScript has bright future and overall development became more understandable and fun. Will the next year in JS will be the year of WebAssembly? Will TypeScript and GraphQL become mainstream? We'll see very soon. Huge thanks to the guys made this enormous survey, and don't forget to subscribe for the next year's The State of JavaScript. So that's all for today, folks. Thank you for watching and stay trendy.